Hello guys, welcome for this new video. Today we're gonna analyze some games that I did for the tournament. So for HAG, so this is a $300 cash prize and we are in the qualifier. I'm playing versus XLAV. He's a very good player and I'm quite happy from those games. So I wanted to show you a little bit what are my thoughts about the games. So I'm basically not a pro player. I'm a good player on AoE4. I try to do tournaments. I try to do good stuff also on the ranked ladder and stuff like this. But I'm not Marine Lord. I'm not Beastie. I'm not insane in the game. I'm quite okay. I will give you my opinion on stuff. And the goal here is just to explain exactly how I think. And yeah, basically I'm not saying I'm right on everything. But the idea is just to share a little bit of everything that goes into my head and my tournament games, basically. Thank you, Kenya, for the follow. So we are on Twitch right now. Don't hesitate to come and see us if you're interested in that. So I'm basically playing the Chinese versus the Rus. Yeah, I didn't show you the drafts also. I will show you the drafts before. It could be interesting also to understand exactly how it's working. So the first map is always cliffside, no matter what, in the qualifiers. And then we draft here, and XLAV chose mountain clearing and I chose Relic River. I really like this map because I feel pretty confident on this map. I know basically a lot of stuff of how it's gonna go. A lot of players are playing Mongols on this map, so I feel confident about playing versus the Mongols because I know pretty well the House of Lancaster. I think this is a very good civilization, and I think it encounters pretty well this the Mongols basically. And mountain clearing also. So cliffside, mountain clearing, and Relic River. So then we have the civilization draft. I'm going to show you a little bit about that. So basically, the first ban is always HRE because this is a broken civilization at the moment. And I chose to ban the Chinese and not the Rus. Why? Because I think Chinese versus Rus is okay for the Chinese. And also the other maps, I mean, Cliffside is okay for Rus. This is a good civilization on Cliffside. But on those two maps, I feel like Rus is not insane. It's not good. So I'm quite confident in the fact of letting my opponent have Rus. And I'm quite sure he will ban Rus because a lot of people just ban HRE Rus. So I will have the Chinese. He will pick Rus and I have Chinese. Basically, that's exactly what happens. So he chose House of Lancaster. So I was quite surprised about this. Yeah, this is weird to just start with this civilization, but okay, I'm quite okay with that. This is okay. I'm not. I don't think okay. This is lost. Of course, this is civilization I want to play. But yeah, this is cool if he doesn't take that directly. I'm gonna ban Malian because I think this is an insane civilization on mountain clearing. And yeah, I feel very, very confident about playing Malians on this map. And this is quite okay on Relic River. He bans Byzantines, and I'm quite surprised about this because Byzantines is not a good civilization on Cliffside, neither on Relic River, neither on mountain clearing, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Again, I'm not a pro player, but I'm surprised. I have the English in order to also go on mountain clearing if needed. Basically, I think this was a mistake to take English right now. This is quite weird. Like, I think I could have waited a little bit more to take the English because this is not an insane civilization. This is a civilization you want to play, especially on mountain clearing or Socotra or stuff like this, because you can take the boar in the middle of the map and take the control and have a good income at the beginning, and your archers cannot be very attacked from your opponent. The main issue with the English is just the mobility because your units are very slow. So yeah, basically, I'm just saying, okay, no problem. The archers are very close to your base, so if there is a problem, you can save them pretty easily. So he takes Rus. I didn't ban at all Rus. Maybe I should have, but I really wanted to have the Malians for me in those maps. Japanese in front of me have Malians, and the Ayubids also, this is a very good civilization on Relic River. So basically I will go with the Chinese no matter what on cliffside, and then I can adapt depending on what my opponent is going for. I'm quite happy on this draft. Maybe I would have, I think I should have picked the English like later on, but it's okay. I wanted to see exactly what he picked before taking those two civilizations. And this also allowed me to have Ayubids, because I know Ayubids is very, very strong versus the Japanese. So I saw the Japanese, and then I said, okay, no problem. You want to pick the Japanese. I know Ayubids is very strong versus you, because you have those desert raiders that can put a lot of pressure versus the Japanese at the beginning of the game. They are not that good at the beginning of the game, the Japanese. And then you can have the control of the map and stuff like this. And I think Ayubid is a good civilization on maps like Relic River, maps on hybrid maps in general. So we're gonna see that exactly. So yeah, first map, cliffside, and we're gonna go with the Chinese versus Rus. I think this is a okay matchup, but I talked a little bit about that with Eliona before, and Marinold was in the chat, and he was saying like this is difficult for the Chinese. No, this was not Marinold that said that. This is Eliona that said this is difficult for the Chinese. And I was like, okay. I thought it was cool because, especially on cliffside, I can take the deers. I have a good pro scout because this is very fast with the Chinese. So I can take the deers, and then I can take the control of the middle of the map because of my Barbican. And if I have my Barbican at the middle of the map, then the Rus is not that good because he cannot really use his mobility in order to attack me. He will have to take the control. He will have to take the side map, and this is complicated. And I can wall pretty easily on this map because the walls with the Chinese can be produced very, very fast. So I'm quite confident about this. But I know the Rus has a lot of income. So I know I have to go in the late game where the Chinese can be very, very strong. And I cannot end the game before. I redo this match after that on another tournament, and I think the Rus are still better, especially on open maps. But it feels like on this map, as on this specific map, Chinese is very, very strong because of the Barbican of the middle, and of the walls that you can do quite easily to defend your base. So as you can see, I have the Pro Scout faster than him because I can supervise it, and then I do the stable, and I can just take all the deers of the map that are close to my base. And I also did a horseman in order to counter his scouts that were here attacking me. So I'm not gonna do specifically like build orders and stuff. This is not the idea here. The idea is just to show you how I think, and for other stuff like beginner guides or stuff like this, I will do it in other videos. So you have to understand a little bit the game in order to understand what I'm saying right now. So if you are a beginner, you will not understand what I'm saying. I will do other videos in order to help you, of course. So basically the magic number for the scouts, I think, is 4 to 5 scouts. If you do more, you will not have army to protect your scouts, and then you will not be able to take the deers, and that's basically the stuff you want to have with Pro Scout, because if you don't take the deer with Pro Scout, then why do you do Pro Scout? Of course. So yeah, the main idea is just to produce a little bit of scouts, and then you do armies to protect that. So basically I see my opponent is trying to steal those deers, so I'm protecting the area. And at the same time, it's very interesting to go and protect the other side. So I have more because I am producing some army. And I think his mistake here is just not producing army at all. I mean, he's just basically doing scouts and not any army. So he cannot really take those deers. That's basically what I said just before. Like, if you do just scouts and not produce any army, then you cannot take the deers. So that's very, very important. And this allowed me to have more deers than my opponent, because I was able to take 7 deers here, 7 deers there, and also I will be able to steal some deers there. So 3 of them. And 3 deers seems not a lot, but a deer is 350 food. This is an insane amount of food. Especially with the Chinese, because you can supervise the meal and have 20% more on of drop-off of those of this food. So this is very, very interesting. I forgot about this, and this is very bad. You have to do it, because as you can see here, I have 400 tax on my meal. So this is something that you have to do, because otherwise you cannot take all the taxes out of the meal. So this is very, very important in order to have more gold and to have more economy. And this is something that can snowball. Like, if you don't have the gold at this timing, you cannot do your veteran on your spearman, for example, and then you lose your fight. And if you lose your fight, then you lose the control of the map, and then etc, etc. So this is very, very important. You have to do this technology while aging up, or even maybe before. It can be cool. So as you can see here, I managed to take the deers because I had some army, and I will do exactly what I talked about before. I will do the veteran on my units in order to defend this area, and then I will put my Barbican here in order to be able to defend them. So I see some man-at-arms. I see basically the Rus will always do the same. Like, they will do this unit that is very, very strong. So if I see man-at-arms, if I see heavy cavalry and this unit, I will do some crossbow. This is a very good unit to counter that. So right now I'm seeing that he wants to take the relics, of course. So my goal is just to take at least 1, and it's better if I have 2, but I know that the Rus is a good civilization to take the relics, because they have those monks that can take the relics faster, because they are faster. So I put just some units here in order to defend that, and I put a lot of army in order to save the Barbican. And this was my idea at the beginning of the game, and I think this is very insane on this map, because you can just with this Barbican, you can take the control of the map so well. Like, you have, for example, if you want to attack your opponent and your opponent has more, then you can just go back with your units under your Barbican, and it can deal a lot of damage to your opponent. I mean, this is a lot of defense. And also, your opponent cannot attack you from there directly into your base, because you have something that deals damage. So basically here I'm doing a lot of cavalry and spearmen in order to deal with those units, and I'm pushing my enemy, even if it's not a good fight here, because he will just hit and run my units and kill more to me. Well, not that much, to be honest, because the light cavalry can tank pretty well and can move faster. But my goal was just to take a little bit this fight, even if I lose everything, in order to have the relic, because the relic is very important in the late game. The more I have, the better. So 2 versus 2. I thought it was 2 versus 3, because I didn't saw that relic, and he didn't saw it either. So there was basically this relic during all the game that was there, and no one took it. Like, this is the lost relic. So at this point, I was saying, okay, I have a pretty good beginning on the game. I managed to take 2 relics. I had more deers than my opponent. I'm quite okay. I'm Chinese. I'm good in the late game. You see, I didn't click this technology, so this is a big mistake here. So I'm doing some crossbows, because I know my opponent will do those horse archers, and also will do some knights later on. And this is also the stuff that I wanted to talk about. I want to go with the astronomical clock tower, because I can deal also with those archers, crossbows and stuff that he will do, thanks to my nest of bees. This is a very cool unit. And as I talked about before, on this map, as you have some mountains everywhere, you can do some walls and you can stay a little bit behind, use your nest of bees, and this is insanely difficult for the roost to push you. And so you go on the late game, and on the late game you are a very good civilization basically. So this is not the good one. I forgot about that. This is not the good map too. I have to change this. This is cliffside. Okay. So now I'm just gonna wall my map, and I think he made a little bit of mistake here. I think he could have put more pressure on me. Maybe he was about to do so while he was here. But yeah, I managed to do all my walls here because I pushed my opponent at this timing, so my villagers were not under attack when they did so. And so after that, I just took my sacred sites, and basically what I was thinking then is, okay, if I manage to take this sacred site, I can win with the sacred site victory, because this one is very hard to push because it's close to my base. This one is protected by the Barbican, and if I manage to take something like with a keep or something, I can save the sacred sites too. And as I talked about before, with the Chinese, you're very strong at defending because you have good combo with your nest of bees and your walls and stuff like this. So this is basically what I wanted to do. So here with my raid, I killed several villagers, so this is very, very nice to do. And also, what is cool with the Barbican is not only you have the defense here, but also you have your bonus that allows you to have faster villager production. So I have 61 versus 48, so I'm quite good in economy in general. I will take a raid here, and I'm just saying, okay, this is not a good position for my villager. This was a mistake to put them here, and I did the wall especially to do not have this problem with those horse archers that can kill your units on the right, on the left, etc. So basically I thought, okay, maybe I will pull back those villagers when my army goes anywhere else, so I can save my villagers. And I saw that I had a lot of problem with my goals also, so I did a market in order to change a little bit of that. And I took some stone in order to do a second TC, because I know the game is gonna take a long time, and my opponent thought exactly the same way. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because the game is a little bit long. Yeah, now I saw exactly at the moment I was moving, my villagers were under attack, so I said, okay, no problem, I will just farm transition, and it's better for me. Now I have a lot of nest of bees. I know I have a competitive army to my opponent, especially because he has a lot of horse archers, and this is a good unit because it's mobile, but it's not that good on frontal fights, like fighting each other. Army versus army is not that good, so this is an interesting fight. I think I made a mistake. I was going too far, but this is a mistake I do often. Like, I have to change that in my gameplay because I really want to attack my opponent. Like, I don't want to stay behind walls and wait that the game is over. And yeah, this is still okay because I do a lot of damage to my opponent. Like with my nest of bees, as you can see, this is insane. I kill a lot of his units. But I will lose everything here. And this is a problem, of course, because if you lose all your army, then you're not good in your base, of course, because your opponent can strike back. And hopefully I have the Barbican here, and my opponent didn't have like trebuchets or rams or stuff like this, so he cannot really attack me. But if I didn't have this, this was over. Like, he could have just attacked me and I was dead, especially because I farm transition. So this is the worst idea I had on this game, and I think this is an enormous mistake. I lost so many games because of that. So basically, if you have the same problem, just be aware of that. Like, this is not cool to do this. Now I have some stone in order to do a keep here, in order to be sure I'm not under attack on those farms. This is very important. I did also the spring gold later, maybe. This is very important also to have a better defense. And basically here I knew it was gonna be very difficult to kill my opponent. So I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna go with the very late game. And maybe I can try some stuff like taking the sacred site and put a wall here. And I think this is the move of the game. I put a stone wall here and I do my h4 there. So this basically means that I have the control of the center of the map because of the Barbican. I have the control here because of this keep. And I have the control here because of the Great Wall. So basically I have the 3 sacred sites safe. And so I can take the sacred site victory. And so if I have the sacred site victory, it forces my opponent to take fights he doesn't want to take. And I learned my lesson. I went on his base and it was a destruction. So now I'm not going anymore on his base. I'm just staying in my base, except with some cavalry units to raid his base. But basically my main issue is just I go out with all my units. This is not what you want to do. What you want to do is just to take some mobile units and kill some villagers from here and there and use the mobility in order to flee the fights and just kill villagers or run in the base, put some idle time to your opponent and stuff like this, and not go out with your nest of bees and stuff, because this is slow, and if you're being catched, then it's over for your units. So now I'm h4, so I'm doing the cannon placement. And I have the control of the golds because, well, I have the control of the map thanks to those keeps and stuff. So he's trying to attack me, but he cannot. And now I'm gonna go with the veteran on all my units, of course. And he's trying to attack me with his cavalry, so I managed to protect my nest of bees. I kill all his units there. And I'm using my cavalry units in order to kill his economy. And this is basically the stuff that I want to do all game long. Like now, I know I have a good defense there. So all my units that are not mobile are gonna stay there in order to defend. And all my units that are mobile are gonna go on the map and kill villagers. And so he will be forced to attack me on sacred sites, because if he does not, I'm gonna win with sacred victory. But if he attacks me there, not only I have good defense because I have nest of bees, because I have barbicans, because I have great wall gatehouse, I have keeps and stuff. But also if he attacks me, he's not able to defend there, and so I kill villagers. And as you can see here, I already killed 34 villagers, and it's gonna go up and up and up. So here I'm gonna protect my nest of bees as I can. I'm gonna try to do not lose them, and as you can see, this is insane value. I mean, I can kill so many units thanks to those nest of bees, and I can hold with only few units while he has so much more on the field, but I can harass him at the same time and kill villagers. So this is basically the stuff that I want to do all game long, and yeah, try to win thanks to that. So yeah, what I want to do also is to have the technologies. I did also my age up here, so this is very important to have. Like here I click this and I see exactly where are all his villagers, so I will go and kill them. Another stuff that is very important, I have to pause the game for that. Here, as you can see, there are golds there, and there are golds here. I know my opponent will have some problems with the gold, and he will have to take the golds there because it's difficult to go here for him. So I put a keep here in order to have the vision and stop him from taking the golds. So he will have a problem with the golds, and he will not be able to do the bombards, the stealthy, the technologies on his units and stuff like this. So basically, this is very important too, to take the control of the map and avoid your opponent from taking the golds. And as you can see here, this is the last gold he can have for safe, so this is very important for me. Now I'm using the nest of bees in order to kill his bombards. Nest of bees are insane. I mean, this is a unit that is so strong. And here I can hold with so few units compared to what he's attacking me with. And I have some light cavalry that can attack my opponent. Here I see this is difficult to defend, so I use my cavalry to come back there and kill his siege, and always use a villager to repair some of your nest of bees that are under attack. I saved this one thanks to this villager that healed, so this is very cool. And basically that's the stuff I did all game long. I have 4 minutes to go, and now I use my units again. And thanks to my control of the map, thanks to the fact I was putting pressure with my sacred sites, with all my units that goes everywhere and kills some villagers to my opponent and stuff like this, I managed to take this game to XLAV, so it was very nice game. I think he played quite well, but he could have attacked me more, in my opinion, at the beginning of the game when I didn't have those walls. But when a Chinese has walls like this, it is very difficult to attack him. And yeah, I won this game. So the second game is very interesting. Very interesting. So this is not a BO5. I made this is a BO3. Sorry, just XLAV. So the next one is on Relic River, and I played the Iobids versus the Lancaster, and I was not sure about this matchup. I never did this matchup before, and I was in my head I was like, ooh, this is tough. Like, Lancaster is a good civilization on the late game. They have a good timing on the H3. But the Iobids also have a good timing on H3, but they are not good on the late game. So I was just expecting to have a better timing on the H3. That's basically the stuff. So here I was gonna go with the, how is it called? The landmark that will help you to have 2 dervishes. In order to, when I go H3, I take all the relics of the map. That's the stuff I wanted to do. I was really surprised about his build order. I mean, the spearmen are nice in some matchups, but it didn't do any damage to me. I don't really like the opening with the spearmen. I talked about it before. Like, Eliona talked about it to me lately. He said, oh, why did I was playing the Lancaster versus the Templar, I think. And he said, why didn't you open Spearman versus the Templar? And I don't think you can do a lot of damage thanks to the Spearman. I don't know. Like on this map, you can just force your opponent to stop from taking gold, but that's pretty much it. And this is not that insane. And also, I feel like with the Lancasters, your main goal is just to go as fast as you can on your age up and do some manners, because this is insanely strong. I mean, if you want to do that and hold in your opponent, maybe it can be cool with the other landmark, but it's kind of weird. But here, as you can see, I just, okay, I had my age up. I just take a lot of wood. And then when I have an archery range, I will do Desert Raider, kill his spearman, and take back the gold and go H3 directly. And as he's behind, because he did a lot of spearmen, I can go H3 faster than him and take the control of the map and stuff like this. So that's what in my head right now. But I am Iobits, and when you age up, it's 2 minutes to go, so it's kind of difficult. I'd rather do a stable than doing an archery range too, because I know I want to go on the age up. So if I want to go on the age up, it's better to have a stable in order to have the heavy cavalry. Because I know I don't want to do archers right away when I age up. I'd rather go with the camel lancers. But I do also an archery range, so that's pretty much the same stuff. And as he made some spearmen, I know I can go here and do a dock, because his spearmen were there. So I used the villager, I did a dock there, I did some fishing boat, and when he saw that, I just directly do a doll, and it's pretty much over. He cannot attack me there. So that's also what it gives, also the opportunity to the Iobits when you do the spearmen to do that. That's quite kind of weird what I'm saying, but if the spearmen are not directly there, then a villager can go do a dock and you are safe. And I don't made you see that, but I had a villager that were there building the dock, and the villager went directly into my base, but the spearman wanted to catch it, and I used my dervish in order to heal the villager, and I didn't lose it. So that's kind of cool. And now, as his spearmen were there in order to deal damage to my dock, I managed to take the control back of my gold. I did an outpost, and that's pretty much it. I had the control here. I did an archer, but it was not very necessary in my opinion. And I have the control of the water there, and I have 2 dervish. And he's late on his manners. That's pretty much what you have to understand of this game. That's why I don't like this opening on the spearman. On Iobits, at least. I don't know on other civilization, but on Iobits, I don't like it. So now I know I'm quite ahead because of the fishing boats, of the control of the gold, the fact that he is a little bit late on his manners and stuff. So I'm gonna go fast stage 3 and use the strength of Iobit, taking all the relics directly and put pressure on my opponent at the same time. So I'm using the dervish here in order to push the deer. So this is a mistake from him, in my opinion. He had some spearmen there, so he could have used them in order to kill the deers and spread them out. But he didn't do that, so I took it. This is cool for me. I mean, okay, I like the fact of having deers under my outpost, so this is nice. I do the economic age up because I can have 7 villagers more. So it helps me getting away with those manners that can produce a lot of resources for him. And now my goal is to have a little bit of Desert Raider in order to have the control of the map while I'm aging up, so I can take the relics with the dervish. That's basically the stuff that I wanted to do. And also that what is very important is when you age up, just after clicking your age up, you want to take all your technologies from age 1. I didn't do horticulture, of age 2, sorry. But in order to have a better economy, and also do like two Desert Raider in order to have the relics and the control of the map. So here you can see I killed 2 or 3 units. These units could have been, I mean, annoying and stop my dervish from taking the relics. So this is why the Desert Raiders are cool. So now I have 3 stables, full camel lancers. I have the veteran on the Desert Raiders because I have some of those units, and a lot of archers. And this is basically the stuff that I will do as units, like heavy cavalry and archers, and he will do the same. But I have the control of the water. I have some relics too. I have the dervish that can heal my units. I have the bonus also on the Iobits that gives 10% resources of more on my villagers, but he has the manners too, that's true. Maybe he did also, yeah, he did this, so he has the knights that deal more damage to my camels, but my camels debuff those units, so it's kind of okay. My goal is not to take fights, it's just to take the relics right now. And after I took the relics, then I will be able to fight and stop him from taking the control of the map. That's also something that I don't really like about the Lancaster. I like this building, but I think you cannot do it because you are so needing gold with this civilization. So the problem with this civilization is if you do the King's College, then you don't have the White Tower, and if you don't have the White Tower, then you cannot really protect your gold. And now on this map, the next goal is or there. Impossible because I have a door here. I can see exactly where he is, and this is quite easy to attack. The second option is there. It is the best one, but it's quite attackable, and there it's worse. So basically on this map, when you do House of Lancaster it feels like you have to produce a little bit H2 in order to put pressure on your opponent. He cannot really H3, and you have to put your white tower somewhere to help you having gold. Because here the problem is that he will be crushed because of this gold. I can prevent him from taking gold, and he so need this in order to do knights, do his manners, technologies and stuff. You really need some gold. I use my archers, I use my units everywhere. I take the relics, I put my relics into the mosque, and I have so much economy thanks to that. Also, I have more villagers because I have the boats, because I have the age up with the villagers. And I saw here that he had villagers there. So basically, he will lack of food also, because he had not a good pathfinding also on the food, and also he on the sheep. Sorry, I had a lot of sheep. I didn't mention that, but this was very interesting also on this game. Maybe I could show you just after how you can scout on this map. Where are the sheeps? This is very important to know, because here he's lacking some food. Well, he has some, but it's not that much. And also the problem with Lancaster is just when you don't have sheep anymore, then the berries, this is not a good source of food, while the Ayubid has the berries, and this is insane. So basically here I just used the timing of the Ayubids, and I think this is another example where Lancasters on fast H3 are not that nice. I think you have to play a little bit on H2 in order to force some things from your opponent. I did a game with Lancaster versus the Malian. I go fast H3 and I get destroyed. And I did another game with Lancaster. I played H2 and I destroyed my opponent. And I think you have to play a little bit on H2 with this civilization, especially on this map, in order to take a little bit the control of the map. And then when you have the control of the map, it's very much easier, because if you just fast H3, you are a little bit behind your opponent because you did your manners just before, and you don't have any units. Well, in my case, I had some units. I could take the relics, and then I can snowball on this. I could take all the sacred sites and stuff. So yeah, I will show you a little bit the pathfinding on the sheeps. I think I had so much more than him, but I'm not sure about this. But I can show you. This is quite interesting to know also, if you are not aware of that. All maps have, not all maps, but a lot of maps have some different spawns. For example, on this map, you have a lot of sheep just behind your map, just behind your base. So 4, and you have a 5th one in there, and this is the same here approximately. He doesn't have 5, he has 3, but he has a lot still. There is 2 there, and I think I don't have 2 in front of my base. I only have 1. So basically there is not a lot of sheep there. So if you want to scout the dock of your opponent, then don't. Just don't. Because if you do that, you don't have sheeps at all. There are always sheeps there, either on this side or on this side. And then all the sheeps are mostly there, and sometimes they are a little bit there or there. Okay, so you can see here, they are here on this side, here also, and the 2 are there. So basically, if you know that, well, you can have more sheep than your opponent. And I don't know how many I will have, but I think I will have more than him. You see, oh, he was just behind me also. This is not helping, of course. I had 4, he had 2. He didn't sow this one. He didn't sow those 2 also. So yeah, basically that's something that is not good for him. And I think he didn't know about those 2, because I think I had those. Yeah. Well, he pushed the deer. So if he pushed the deer, he cannot have those sheep. So yeah, I had a lot more sheep. So this is very important in a game to have. So you have to notice that, because 200 food is a lot of food. And if he had those ships, maybe he would have been in a better spot and maybe won this game. And this could change everything. Okay, that's pretty much it for the analysis of my games. Don't hesitate to tell me what you thought about that in the comments. If it helped you, if you have some questions also, I'll be glad to answer to you. And also don't hesitate to go and watch HAG, of course, who organized this event. This is very, very important, guys. We will have a lot of events on this channels, and this is very, very cool. Very cool. See you in the next one.